Again, what a college baseball game! What an environment! This is why these players come to these schools, is to have this opportunity where you have a chance to go 2-0, and great crowd, everything at stake, and I'm just really, really proud of the grit and the fight that our team showed. Either team could have won that ball game. Came down to we just did a little bit more, and just really, really proud of our guys that they hung in there. Their starter was outstanding. One of the top arms that we've seen this year, and he was really, really good. And we're just fortunate that Blanco, even the 3-run home run that Hines hit, was a great swing, and they jumped on top. But he hung in there and pitched us to the back part of the game to give the ball to Matt Augustin. And for a true freshman to go out there in that environment and that situation, what it was at stake was incredibly impressive. And obviously Eric Becker had a huge night, and then Didawick's double there in the ninth was big as well. And just awesome college baseball game, and we're just fortunate to be on the right side of it.
Matt, what was it like coming in that situation? And before tonight, what was the most pressuring situation you ever faced?
Honestly, that was probably the best moment that I've ever seen. Like the crowd was absolutely electric. Coming into it, seeing everybody, it obviously it made my heart rate rise. But after the first couple batters, my heart rate slowed down. I was able to lock in on it. I kind of blacked out to a point where I don't really remember what happened. But otherwise, the next biggest moment that I think I pitched was like, it was a Diamond Classic game my sophomore year of high school. But nothing can top this. This is awesome.
Yeah, for Eric and Harrison, you guys have been such a vocal lineup all year, and then not particularly explosive yet in this regional, but very clutch. Does it get frustrating when you're not putting up the big numbers, or what is the approach to kind of hang in there and deliver in the clutch?
Harrison, what you say? Yeah, we can win a lot of different ways. We're a great team. We're not just, on offense. We have great pitching staff, great defense, and great coaching, of course. And then with the fans behind us, we can win any way possible. So we don't really rely on our lineup. If we're not hitting, we're gonna rely on our defense and pitching.
Anything to add, Eric?
Yeah, tonight you can kind of see in the beginning of the game, we started off kind of slow, and our pitching, Evan and Matt, they were able to keep us in that game, and with our lineup, I think we can go up with anyone. So it was pretty fun to be a part of tonight.
Greg and then Preston.
Eric, you guys have come back and won the first come from behind one this year. How have you guys done it all season? What was your approach there? 7th inning, beating a big hit there and bringing the team back to the other side of it?
Yeah, I think it just goes to our preparation, and how the coaches prepare us, as much as they do, and then just being accountable towards each other. I think everyone in the lineup, everyone in the clubhouse, we kind of hold ourselves to a certain standard, and tonight, we didn't waver from it, and then the crowd, was really fun to be a part of. They kept us in that game too, so definitely the best environment I've been a part of.
Preston.
Yeah, Matt, how do you focus in? You haven't had a lot of outings, at least in a while, that get you past an inning or two. Kind of what keeps you focused, especially when they get runners on and you're in a tricky situation there?
Honestly, that comes to our mental strength coach, Brandon Geyer. He kind of toss focal points and kind of just locking in on the certain thing. For me, that's just kind of looking back at my catcher, seeing his Evo Shield logo, and that just gets me back in track with the pitches.
What did you say to you in that mound visit?
He just wanted to give me a breather, get me back into it, kind of just get my heart rate back down, just focus back on the batter.
Second, Greg.
Eric, this is for you, Harrison. The Mississippi State coach was talking about how there are no easy outs in this lineup, and 8 of the 9 runs that you scored have come from RBIs from a lot of third lineup. Can you just talk about what that says about just the quality and consistency of this offense?
Yeah, in this lineup, there's no easy out. All of us, like I said earlier, we hold ourselves to that standard, and no matter who's going up to the plate, I think everyone, on the bench, feels confident in, that hitter's going to get the job done. So, no easy out in this lineup.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Beck there. We all trust each other. We all practice hard and play hard, and then it really goes in our preparation, like you said, and just preparing as hard as we do and holding ourselves to that standard every single practice, it really gets us ready for the game, and whenever we're in a clutch moment, we all just believe in each other. So.
Harrison, tonight they were fall behind the count, and you strike double with your gap. What's your approach to down in the count all season long?
Yeah, I mean, it's simple, just battle, compete. We practice it every day, and it's just when you get to 2 strikes, like, it's really how much you want it and how much you're going to just battle and compete. And I think that's like the most important count is that's what makes the best teams click. So. Of course, with our lineup behind us, of course.
Yeah, Harrison, on that double, did you see it bounce over, or did you not know what it was? It looked like you were standing at first, kind of wondering, waiting for a call.
Yeah, I had absolutely no idea where the ball went. I was just running as fast as possible, just to go wherever I need to go. But whenever I saw the umpire say I was on second, I slowed down. But I had no idea before that.
All right, thanks, guys. You can stick around, or you can head back to the clubhouse. Any questions for Coach O'Connor?
OC's been in this position a lot of years. 2 OT, you got a long time to wait. How do you pass the hours during the day and
Yeah, well, you pass the hours with the excitement of the opportunity that you have earned, and so fortunately our schedule will be the same tomorrow that it was today, and the players will arrive some point in the middle of the afternoon, and we'll, as coaches, we'll come into the office in the morning and prepare for 2 teams, and do what we did today. Coach Drew and I are going to talk tonight about who our starter is tomorrow. That might depend on who the team is tomorrow, who we're playing. So that'll either be made later tonight or at some point tomorrow before, obviously before the game.
Brian, this offense has been so potent, all year, and
Yeah.
big numbers, and you mentioned to us yesterday that postseason baseball is a bit of a different animal. What allows this group to not have a huge night and yet still come through in the clutch?
Like the players spoke about up here, I think it's their preparation every day from the first day that they arrive here in late August, and the standards that are instilled in all of them. The veteran players know what those standards are of how they carry themselves every day and how they work. And they're held accountable to that, and most importantly, they hold each other to that standard. And that's I believe, when you have something special, and I believe we have something special in this program, and other programs do as well. But I just see the insides of our program, and when you have teammates saying the right things to each other, you have something built that when you're in this moment and you work so hard for it, that they can take a deep breath and play. And because they know of their preparation every day throughout the year has prepared them for the moment that they have in front of them, and they have the highest level of belief in each other.
Coach, obviously, Matt, a freshman first year. You talk a lot about how freshmen kind of grow up throughout the season. What has kind of been the signs that showed you and Drew that maybe he's capable of that?
Well, I tell you this first about Matt Augustin. He has high level of ability. He threw up to 95 miles an hour tonight, and I don't look at him as just a first year in the program. He's got really good stuff, and what he showed us throughout the year in some of those ACC games where we were fallen behind, or we were ahead and would give up a lead. And I distinctly remember the game at Miami, and when Matt came in and there were guys that weren't getting the job done, he came in and locked Miami down. And I remember on the trip home talking to Coach Drew that, felt like we had something really special there, because he just proved that he wasn't going to stand for it anymore, and that he was going to go out there and do the job. And he's done the job a lot this year for us, and we have a ton of confidence in him. Coach Drew and I talked before this regional and decided when it was a big moment in the regional that Matt Augustin was going to be in the game, because he's got guts, he makes big pitches, and that was on full display tonight. He would walk somebody on four pitches, or, the at-bat against Jordan, shows what he's, not only his ability, but his poise for an 18-year-old is quite impressive. So.
Compared to Blanco this year, is that by coincidence, or do you like kind of him coming in after Blanco?
There's nothing to necessarily with him coming after Blanco. It just has happened that way in a couple of situations. I pitched him in game one in the seventh inning of a 10-run rule game against Georgia Tech, just because I wanted to get him out there in that in the ACC tournament, because you just don't know what's going to happen in the next game. And you do things like that as a coach, knowing of the situation you could be in a week and 2 weeks down the road, and to prepare them so they can be successful when you need them the most.
Brian, what do you like about Eric's approach against Sinjay and Harrison's two-strike approach there tonight?
Oh, I mean, listen, Eric Becker's a great player. He's a really high-level player, and he's proven that all year long. I spoke about it a few days ago that we hated to see Henry Godbout get hurt when he was out for those 3 weeks, but that was the best thing that could have happened for Eric Becker's development. It put him in the lineup every day. He played second base, and from that point on, he took off. I mean, you look at his home runs and his production during that time and following that time is really impressive. And listen, we're fortunate that we have a lot of good players, right? As great as Beck is doing, he's in a platoon situation with Luke Hansen, who's a great player as well, and he hasn't played yet in the 2 games. And Eric had a great night, and Diddy, his first 2 swings in that 9th inning, I was so excited because I know he was going for it. He was just letting it rip, and I love to see that, right? And hey, he was up there. I don't know whether that was his intention, but it looked like from the anger in his swings, he looked like he was trying to end the game himself. And then what a great player does, a great hitter does, is he adjusts with 2 strikes, and he drove the ball the other way and didn't try to do too much. And certainly that was a huge moment in the ball game.
Chris, Bobby Wakeland had a couple chances yesterday for us in scoring position. Obviously got the key hit there at the end. Can you just talk about them coming through in that moment?
Yeah, it was a big moment. I had Anthony Stefan ready to hit, depending on what the scenario would been. And so when it was 1st and 3rd, I just made the decision to stay with Bobby. Because he's a pretty high contact rate guy, and you put the ball in play and good things happen. And Bobby Whalen's just he's part of what college baseball is about. He's a tough, gritty 50-year senior that's been at Louisville, been at Indiana, now here at Virginia, and just plays the game incredibly hard. And it didn't surprise me that he put the ball in play there, and putting the runner in motion there created a tough situation for their second baseman, and fortunately it worked.
Coach, just curious, I know you can't always structure a team the way you
Yeah, I mean, you can. I do it myself. Critique it all the time to decide are we putting our team in the best position as far as the lineup goes. Who hits where. And I've given thoughts for weeks. Do I need to switch things up and move somebody in a different spot and things like that? But what we do works. We have one of the top offenses in the country because there's incredible depth to it. I mean, look at our 6-hole hitter. He has 23 home runs, right? The guy's hitting in the 6-hole. Henry Godbout's a really fantastic player, and he's probably one of our top 3 hitters average-wise and has 8 or 9 home runs. And some nights he's hitting in the 8-hole, and you see Beck doing what he's doing, and Bobby Whalen in the 9-hole. It's hitting 400. It's years of work in progress of recruiting the right young men, but not too many of them. I think that's really important because when you have too many choices as a coach, it is easy for then the coach to say, all right, this player had a bad weekend, I'll try this guy. And I believe at this level, if you recruit the right kind of players that are talented and fit into your organization, you stick with them. Because when you stick with them, when you really need them, they come through.
You got a good start from Evan tonight.
Yeah.
Just like you did from Joe. Knowing that you'll play at least one more game in this regional, possibly 2, is your pitching staff in about as good shape after 2 games?
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. The fact that, other than Tonis throwing the one pitch, we use 2 guys. We use 2 guys on game 1. Hungate would be available again tomorrow. So it's worked out perfectly from that standpoint. And, we'll go at it. Whoever we play tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, we'll go at them with whatever we have to win tomorrow night's ball game. And if for some reason we don't, we'll be in a great shape on a Monday.
Yeah, I was just wondering, you bunted Henry Godbout in the 7th to set up that route. Did you consider bunting Eric in the,
Excuse me?
did you consider bunting with Eric in the 9th when he came up?
No.
in the second round?
No.
Because
Well, first of all, we didn't with Godbout before him. And my feeling in that inning, once Harrison got the double, I looked at Coach Mack and gave him a 3. And basically the message I was sending is that we have 3 shots to win this game. Then all of a sudden you bunt them over, the infield's in, right? I believe in these guys that one of those guys was going to drive the run in. So in that scenario, no, a bunt was not thought of, and even on first and second. I mean, the way Beck was swinging the bat, you give him a chance to end the game.
Yeah, some days you're overpowering teams with your offense. Today and yesterday, that is, you're coming up clutch in these tight games. How key is that versatility when it comes to this kind of game?
Well, it's really important. What's done in the regular season, other than the self-confidence that you gain as an individual player and as a team, you can throw it out the window when it comes this time of the year. You really can, and you're seeing it all over the country in these regionals. They're so fun to watch because, you can't assume anything. Just because we've hit 100 and some home runs doesn't mean that we're going to hit a bunch of home runs when it comes to postseason play. Look at the pitching we faced tonight. So having a versatile offensive ball club that puts the ball in play and puts pressure on teams. We used our legs against Penn, and I think stole 3 or 4 bases to get guys in scoring position. We put action on tonight in the 9th inning because we have good athletic players that can run a little bit. So this time of the year, it's not predictable, and so you've got to use the talents of your team in different ways to win the ball game that's in front of you. And sure, would we all like to go out and roll out 5 home runs? Yes. Okay, but the other team in the dugout has earned the right as well, and they're very, very talented. So you just do what the game tells you that's in front of you to put your team in the best possible position to win the game.